joining in. We will be adding them to the podcast, which is what we do every Sunday. So anyway, good afternoon, world. Good afternoon, everybody. And my name is Kalinda. I'm broadcasting from the Hoosier State of Indiana, here in Indianapolis. I guess it's the Midwest I call it the Corn Belt. And how about we bring in here the man that's been missing. I know he doesn't want to talk right now, but he will. He is the person that brings he normalizes everything on this podcast every single day. Um, Valentine, can you say hello to our viewers and tell our viewers where you are joining this podcast from today?
Mwamba nyonse nabana baleza. I'm joining in uzwa ku St. Louis, Missouri, Midwest. Inaliangu Valentine.
Great, and this is where we allow you to speak whatever language you want that makes you comfortable. We are good with that. After all, we are all one Zambia, one nation,
And one people.
And one people, exactly. And this is where we just we do run through the breaking news and give our takes and our opinions, and they might not always align with the government of the day, but that's the way we like it, because yes, we may be one people, but each one of us has different opinions and takes on the many happenings from the motherland. Anyway, at this time, my name was Kalinda. Great. Now, shall we move on? Shall we start with the what is this? The first topic of the day, which was, I think this is a loaded topic, Valentine, if you ask me, because, of course, there was an announcement last week that an Indian company is coming on board to produce drugs in Zambia, a variety of drugs. And that's on the backdrop of the U.S. government announcing the week before of withdrawing $50 million from the health budget in Zambia because of proliferation of drugs. So it's good news, but per se, we're gonna have it for the first time. I think this might be the first of its kind, a drug manufacturing company in the Republic of Zambia. Valentine, I'm going to start with you because I know that this is something that's very, very close to you. What do you think of that Indian company? What is it called? Incar or INCAR something coming to the market to produce drugs? Of course, I'm showing there'll be about 1,500 people employed through that drug company, and it's said to be up and running by September of next year. In the meantime, we still have the Americans pulling out $50 million, dollars from our drug supply on the market because of pilfering of these drugs, and they did their due diligence. They made the investigations that oh my God, it's loaded. We had also ministers, talking about diplomacy. What's your take? I think for me, let's just take on the new company from India manufacturing drugs. What's your take on that, Valentine? Before we go to Mr. Mambwe, please come in with your thoughts, because I know you have some good stuff to say.
For me, I know it will be very painful for the government and the people withdraw of funding in the health sector. I know it will be really, really difficult, and I hope people will be fine. The silver lining behind all this is that, now we're talking about a company from India having a conversation about this company coming to establish a manufacturing company in Zambia. That's what we need. Gone are the colonial days when we produced raw materials and then they went somewhere else and then came back as finished product. This development is very, very encouraging. It might not, even if it's not successful, at least I hope it is. At least we are having conversation about increasing manufacturing within our country and employ people there and increase expertise in entrepreneurship and medicine, because our people are going to learn more about how to produce uh, our own medicine, and with that hopefully we'll expand our own businesses that produce medicine over there by Zambia. Because for a very long time, we had been talking about the Sondashi formula. But because there was a belief that the white man's water is colder, which means that with medicine from the Western world cures diseases, and our own medicine might not. And we took Sondash through, a lot until the South African government recognized his discovery. But now we are in a conversation where we want to develop medicines in our own country. That's a very, very good development for me. I yield.
Right. Oh yeah, but what do you take of the American government withdrawing $50 million of funds to the drug supply chain in Zambia because of pilfering? What do you take of that? And we saw last week that the Zambian government was trying to bring these diplomats on board, and urging them to be diplomatic in the manner that they do these pronouncements. And of course, there were those sweeping arrests. But the American ambassador, Mr. Gonzalez, is sticking to his point where he says, no, you guys, you are only arresting the small guys. You're not arresting the big guys out there. What do you take of that? I mean, it's sort of becoming really a diplomatic nightmare, because if you have a diplomat accusing the government of not doing enough, and then the Zambian government coming in and saying, yes, we got the report, we're still studying it before we take actions, and then on the backdrop of that, we saw those arrests, what do you take of that confusion? I mean, for me, really, my worry is my mother, is my sister, my brother, my nephews on the street that won't be, have access to these drugs. I mean, you and I, we are fine, we can survive. What about the common man on the ground, while the big people are fighting? Your take on that, Valentine?
Okay, so I'll leave the investigations to the government, because I really don't know what's going on the ground for me to make an informed statement about what's going on. Uh, some of it might be political, some of it might be real, but what I do know is that the withdrawal of funding is going to affect a common person, because that's the common person who is flown out of the country for treatment, and they don't in this economy, Zambian economy, that common person who is suffering but is on board with the government, because they know that the government is doing something to remedy the problem. That's the common person that I am concerned about. And uh, I do know for sure that this government, under the leadership of able-bodied person that I trust, is going to make sure just that, just the way that during the drought season people had food, in this drought of funding in the health sector, the people will get what they need, because this government has shown me that they're determined to bring the services to a common person. So they'll find a way to make sure that the common person is taken care of. It might be a little painful, but the government will do the best they can.
Very interesting, opinion there, the deep thinker. Um, did we need to get to this place? Because I mean, if you look at the American report, it's saying, I mean, this pilfering of drugs, not really started, but it's a carry on from the previous regime. But they are looking at when they did the investigation is from a period between 2021 and now. And yes, we have a new Dawn government, but they haven't done nothing in 4 years. But yeah, let me bring in Mr. James Mambwe, who is my peeps from. I know Valentine has something to say every time I say from my father's backyard in Shikatende, or should I say Shibuyunji? And my people today are on fire, and Ellen is here today. And Ellen, I think is my relative's Mugamba from Shikatende. My people on fire, but they're having network issues. So let Mr. Mambwe. Mr. Mambwe, we're talking about the drug pilfering as pronounced by the American government, and of course that Indian company coming in saying they're setting up a manufacturing plant to produce drugs in the country, and that plant is expected to be up and running around September of next year. So your comment on those issues, please. Okay, we've lost him. As I was introducing, maybe he'll be back. Ellen Mubamba. Mugwabwa Mwambi. Komuri. Now I'm switching to Sala. That's what. Koturi Mugwabo. Komuri. Kwasha. So kumangoresha Mugwabo. It's 2 o'clock over here.
Oh,
Yes, go ahead and greet our viewers, and definitely I need you to comment on the drug situation in the country. Go ahead.
yes, hi, viewers. I'm still trying my network to be stable. It's breaking.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, we'll come back to you. Mr. Mambwe, we are back to you, and we're talking about the new plant that's coming up by that company from India that will produce drugs in the country by September of next year. And of course, the American government with their report. Your take on those two issues, sir. Please come in and express yourself. Mr. Mambwe. Or Bashigela. Those are my people. You can just tell from the names. The Valentine. Mr. Mambwe, please come in with your comment.
My network is very bad.
Yeah, just say your truth. You speak up. Go ahead. You have the floor now. Go ahead. Okay, I guess. Anyway, hopefully, just keep talking. I mean, when your network comes back, and just jump in. We will let you speak because, despite the haters, I think we should allow the people on the ground to actually speak, express themselves on these issues. So back to you, Valentine. The UPND had 4 years to take care of pilfering of drugs on the market.
at this point for me, that's water under the bridge. Water under the bridge, in the sense that my excitement is in that, you know, this funding that is being withdrawn is going to make us think about how do we go around this funding and have the medicine in the hands of the people that need it. So this helps us to cut loose the dependency theory. You can't, as a country, you can't depend on another country to fund the health and agriculture system of your country. Because if they fund your agriculture system, you don't know what you're eating. You don't know what you're putting in your stomach. If they fund the health system, you don't know what you're swallowing. You know, you might say they're scientists, they look at those things, but when there is a desperate need, even if scientists look at that, at the end of the day, people are sick, and if they're dying, you will give them something, and if they get better, that's progress. But you don't know what the side effects of those things are. But I'm just excited that we are going to start making our own in our country. Slowly, we're cutting loose the dependence theory, depending on others.
Yeah.
We are over 6 years old to be depending on others. That's all I'm saying.
That's what you're saying. That's that's a very very interesting outtake yeah, on that. But I think for me, my worry really is what happens between now and then. We have a population that's definitely is sick, and they've been complaining about drugs, and also you're looking at the elections coming up. All this happening, at the same time. How how didn't we see this coming? Is the question. Didn't we see this coming? And if the Americans are telling you with the investigations, all we did was send 1,000, 2,000 people on the in the streets to find out where our drugs are going, and they visited all these small pharmacies all over the country, and they were selling drugs that were donated by the U.S. government, and they still had the logo of the drug. Usually you have they come in a packet and you say donated by the U.S. government. But these blazing thieves or whoever is in charge, are we saying as a new Dawn government we didn't see this coming, regardless, Valentine?
We probably saw it coming, but you just like a very intelligent and determined young man uh, who was in an English speaking school.
Yeah.
And then for secondary school, they go to a school where Spanish is the language of instruction. So you still trying to figure out the language, the content, the language is you still figuring out. That's the same thing with the government. This government came in, there were a lot of things going wrong. There were a lot of things that were happening. And within the health sector, you talking about expired condoms. I don't know if that was true. You had those things happening. So the government, current government, had so many priorities that they had to look at, as opposed to who's selling some drugs in Gabata.
Yes,
they're concerned about.
Didn't we all know that was illegal? Why not? I mean, why not arrest them as they can? As they can, why not arrest them? Is the question. I mean, 4 years in, the deep thinker. 4 years in, we are about to go into, the next election cycle. 4 years in. How methodical can you get? So to borrow the president's words, how much time do you need to be methodical to get this more time people that were selling drugs on the market with a donated label on it?
I'll tell you this, and I don't know how true it is in this situation. But one of the African presidents said, you know, in a democracy, things are different from in a dictatorship.
Okay.
In a dictatorship, I can know today that somebody is selling drugs in a Kalingalinga.
Hold
In
that thought.
Kabwat.
Hold that thought. I think let's bring in our Zambian people who are really having a challenge with network. See if we can say a word or two. Mr. Mambo, please come in. Can you hear us? Mr. Mambwe? God. Oh, every time the network keeps failing us in Zambia. I mean, I think these companies that really do need to do more for our people, especially that they get money out of our people, and if the network is, I mean, for let me not go into the tangent of uh, power, supply, because that's been an excuse in the last 2 years about the load shedding in the country, and that's also affecting our network. Didn't these people know that with the load shed, don't they have a backup? Because here I can lose power right now, but I'm not going to stay a full minute. The power company will connect me to the backup while they fix the main line. I mean, it just beats me. Anyway, that's me rambling on. Let's go back to you, Valentine. I'm sorry before we cut you. So I thought that we should allow this Mr. Mambwe from Zambia who's trying to also contribute to the program. Go ahead, Mr. Mambwe. Just join in when you feel that the network is there for you and you're strong enough to speak on anything. Please come through, and we'll definitely give you the floor to contribute. Valentine, come on, my dear, come on in with your thoughts. I just disturbed you. I thought that we could get Mr. Mambo to speak one or two things. Go ahead with your contribution, Valentine. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Here, do you think have you gone under to?
I was just telling you that I was just saying that in a dictatorship, you can wake up, you can get information that they're selling medicine in Kabwata at 10 a.m. By 4 p.m., 16 hours, you have arrested them. But in a democracy, everybody is innocent unless proven by the law that they broke the law. So the process in a democracy, it takes much longer than
deep thinker. The deep
yeah.
thinker.
I mean,
4 years
when Kaunda was president,
oh, here we go.
you saw how the mangas and the squatters were arrested. We didn't even know why they were arrested. But now in a democracy, you know about it because it goes through the courts of law, and it's written about. So we know there's no. We have very few surprises. So we might be deliberating on issues that are either under investigation quietly, because you can investigate unless you get something that warrants arrest, you're gonna continue investigating. So due process due process can slow things down. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but I suppose that's part of it.
So we should just chalk everything up to due process.
Yeah, but that's a democracy. That's the pillar. That is a pillar.
Okay. I mean, if you put it like that.
And you see, they do investigations in different places.
Yeah.
And find medicine sold.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, maybe that medicine, if I go to the hospital, they give me medicine, I take it for 2 days, and I got the extras left, and I sell them. Them they're saying that they think it's stolen. It might not be stolen. If you are going to do a job like that, so don't tell me you went in the compounds and found people selling. No. Tell me about selling.
They said they went to pharmacies across the city. They went through all pharmacies across the city.
Okay.
It's not just one. It's just guess who is back?
But you have to connect the crime to the Minister of Health, and it takes a minute.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's bring in the man of the moment, the one we missed last week. He went under, but he's back today. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome. Just in the background, I'll just be watching.
Okay, no problem. No problem. But we definitely appreciate your time today. Back to you, Valentine. I'm just not getting it. Explain it to me as if I am my cousin in Ugualo or my aunt in Shikatenda village to understand what's going on here. What is it that we are missing? Talk to me, Valentine, the deep thinker. Deep thinker, where are you? Your network in St. Louis is
what we're missing is probably I think the power to investigate and catch the ones that are actually committing the big time crime of taking those drugs.
But
those little pharmaceuticals
the
and investigating
they're
the compound.
also saying that they are big fishes. And then we had the former director of ZAMSA, Mr. Nyasulu, on a program last week saying that there are people at a state house involved. But of course, we got a rebuttal from the spokesperson from ZAMSA, Mr. Bradley Shingove, another Livingstonian, saying, no, that's not the case. So your comment on that. Go ahead, please. Deep thinker, you have the floor.
I think I missed the question. Could you repeat the question for me, please?
The American government are suggesting that there are big fishes on the program. I mean, big fishes surrounding the pewtering that this government is failing to arrest. And I'm not going to say what they're suggesting there, but that's what they're saying. But then we had, and also one of the directors, the one who was arrested, I mean, his case is still in the court, Mr. Nyasu, saying that no, there was some interventions from the powers that be, starting from the minister then, Mrs. Silva Matsebo and some other directors. But then ZAMSA came in and said, no. This is not us. This has nothing to do with State House. These are just allegations, and the American government are not really happy with the arrest of only the small guys with this. So it seems to be a complicated thing for me. So why aren't we arresting the big ones? Is the
Do we
question.
know them?
Well, there has been suggestions, but anyway, let's bring in Mr. Lanex Chilupia. Welcome back, and where are you watching us from today? Mm. I think are you in Zambia as well, Mr. Chilupia? Can you hear us? Because we cannot certainly hear you. Unless if is your mic muted? But Mr. Chilupia? Oh, we lost him. Anyway, hopefully they'll be back. And so that's what the Americans are alleging. And then we have a former flight director who is also, was implicated in this drugs deal thing at Zamsa, saying no, there are people at State House. And also we have then Zamsa coming in and saying no, State House is not involved, but this is just an extension of what used to happen during the PL. So that's what they are saying.
So on that one, this is what I have to say.
You go ahead.
We need a government-to-government collaboration on that one before it comes to the people, because the people are confused.
That's the reason, exactly. Even I am confused. I don't know what's going on.
Because then for the Americans to be in Zambia, that means there's some agreement with the government of Zambia. So why don't these two entities meet and discuss that? And then what we need to see as common people is to see the arrest after they have agreed on who is stealing, who's not.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's as simple as that. But to go out and tell the people somebody's stealing and somebody says they're not stealing, that's not helping me.
Oh my God. You know what? You just hit the nail on the head on that one. Because there seems to be some disjointed, whether it's communication or there's no relationship there. Because, I mean, on one hand, I'd like to support the ambassador, because if they investigated the cases of pilfering from 2021 to now, okay, and then we on the other side, we have our minister coming in with a statement saying no, this even used to start, it used to happen in the PF. Why are you only coming out now? But I'm saying the ambassador is telling you, we gave you 4 years, to come up with a plan of action. And so far, the people that you have arrested in the last year or two, those are just the tip of the iceberg. There are some big fishes out there that are still doing this, and they're making a helped colossal amount of money. So something somewhere, Valentine is not adding up. At this stage, I'm saying, for me, I mean, yes, I support the PF. I mean, it's all out there. Did I say PF? I'm sorry.
You came out here PF supporter now, huh?
Oh, no. I've never supported the PF. But what I'm saying is,
you're a PF sympathizer.
I'm not even. Come on, don't go there with me, deep thinker. Don't take me there. I've never been a PF supporter or sympathizer, whatever you want to call it. But all I'm saying, look, I work for a government agency here in the U.S., and we're big on delivery service every single day. That we have a system that makes sure the American people get what they need when they need it. And in Zambia, you have a government that's been in power for 4 years, and they know that there is a cartel. I mean, we've been talking about this cartel for like forever. I'm even tired of saying the word cartel. And still, nothing has happened 4 years in. And now you want to come and say, oh, it's a PL? Come on, Valentine. We should do better than that.
I'm not saying it's PF. I'm not saying it's UPND. All I'm saying is somebody needs to provide the solid evidence so that there's some arrest. If the embassy investigated and they're sure that there are big fishes that are doing that,
Yeah.
then we need to see some arrests. Work with the government to arrest those. And if the government says we're not arresting them, even if you have solid evidence, then go to the media and say the government is not arresting them. And this is what we have.
That's what the U.S. government has said.
Have they mentioned names?
Well, they're not saying mention. They're just saying there's some big wigs in there.
It doesn't matter.
All right.
You can't arrest based on big wigs on there. No. You arrest based on individuals. Due process.
All right. Let me see if my bestie is here, Valentine. My bestie is here. Let me see if she wants to say something.
Now, I'm not saying there's no corruption. Corruption is in everywhere, in every space.
Okay. Well, let me see if my bestie wants to say something. Hey, bestie, welcome to the podcast. Hello.
Simbi, hi.
I'm wonderful. Hello there. Welcome. And thank you for joining us tonight. Or it's night over there. It's afternoon over there.
You're welcome after our win, right?
Oh yeah, that was a great win. I'm sorry, Valentine feels left out right now.
Oh well.
Yeah,
Nope, I have nothing to say. Like I said, I was gonna log in to support you, and here I am supporting you. But it's that time of the day around here.
you're about to lose power. That's what I've been getting from all the people tuning in.
And if you supposed to be a joy bringer instead of talking about wins.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be spreading joy.
Yeah, because Manchester United, I won't say the word that I normally call them by. Didn't you guys lose yesterday or Friday, whoever you're playing?
So corruption is what we're talking about, right?
Oh yes, we are talking about corruption. Yeah. Anyway,
don't talk about Man United now.
All right. Okay, let's get back to the podcast.
Thank you.
My bestie is listening in, so I appreciate the support, bestie. Anyway,
you're welcome.
So anyway, now let's talk about the China coming up with everything happening with the drugs. I mean, there's a mess there. Of course, we know there are corruption. That even still going on now. So let's talk about this Chinese company. Let's have stepped up and said they're going to provide ARVs to our people that are affected. I mean, this is something we know. What's the population? Don't they say 22% of the population is affected by HIV/AIDS in the country? And America in the last 25 years has been a light and beacon on the country because they have been giving us these drugs. Now, of course, they have cut their aid because of pilfering of the drugs. So now we have these Chinese people coming in. Hey, okay, we're giving you ARV for your people. I mean, I don't know what to take of that. Is it a sigh of relief? Or my worry with the Chinese. I mean, I love them as a people, but the efficacy of those drugs is what worries me with these donations or these offers. What do you take of that? The dipping.
I don't care where medicine is coming from. I have suspicion. I don't care where it can come from heaven. I still have some suspicions.
Talk to me. Talk to me about it.
So the best is locally produced medicine, which the withdrawal of funding is a blessing in disguise. We need to explore more about that Sondash formula. At the same time, we can receive the medicine from everywhere because people gotta survive, gotta make it. So I'm not here to say we stop medicine from China because I'm not the one affected. I can't speak for the ones affected. The ones that affected, they I have to leave. I have to have longevity. So I'll take the medicine that will make me feel good. It might make me big. It might make my high blood pressure, destabilize my high blood pressure. The ones that are taking it are the ones that are affected. I don't have any moral standing to say, don't get from China, don't get from America, don't get it from Europe. I just have some suspicions about the medicines that are given, that are donated.
I definitely I concur there with you. I mean, for me, I don't know. The Chinese needs to be they have to be supervised. And, these people, they'll come in and corrupt our people. So,
See,
I mean, my worry is the efficacy of those drugs when our people start taking it. Because I don't think like our, what is that wing that tests for these drugs to make sure that they're okay, they're not expired. All those things, they just worry me. Because this is a country that already have experienced government buying or condoms and then produce and then giving or donating it to our people.
but you
That's
see,
why.
but
That's
you
why.
see, but you see, you said what you just said. Now let me
Yeah,
say this.
yeah. You tell me.
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Chinese government is not shoving those drugs under our throats. We accept them.
Yeah.
So we are the ones that don't have standards in that case.
Right.
Because we don't have to receive them.
Right.
The fact that we receive them and use them, that means we can't blame it on the Chinese, the French, the US. We can't blame it on nobody but ourselves.
Okay.
Now, we accept them because we need those drugs. If they don't come, people are going to die. That's a choice we have to make.
Right.
So you can't blame the donor.
So we should blame us. Is that what you're telling me?
You should have a system in place that checks the drugs that are coming in. If they're counterfeit, you check them. If you don't have a system like that, don't talk bad about the person giving you something that you don't have. You cannot, if I have nothing to eat, and then you come and give me vegetables without cooking oil, I have nothing to eat. And you give it to me, and then I start complaining. Kalinda gave me sholo. I accepted it.
Okay. I guess you may have a point there. But I'm just worried, Valentine. I'm worried because we already history has already shown us that we have a government sometimes that would get condoms, defective condoms, and then distribute them to the masses. Expired drugs, people are taking those. And then we have a country that's coming in and say, okay, well, the Americans are. I mean, I know we are in the world of it's when man eats dogs, but at the same time shouldn't be worrying about our own health when we are
I'm,
these drugs. I mean, I'm just
I'm, I'm not worried because we have selective outrage in that case. We're going to accept the sneakers that are counterfeit. We're going to accept all these things that we know are counterfeit.
Uh-huh.
And on top of that, we receive medicine that we think is counterfeit.
Well,
But
go ahead.
the person receiving is in a dire stress, I
Mm-hmm.
would suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't talk. It's your job to. We have labs in almost every African country to pass those drugs through and see what they need to see. You can't blame the person giving you.
Okay. I don't know about those.
When you don't have, you
When you
just
don't have,
accept.
you just accept and hope for the best. I think we should. There should be a time when we come in when we say as a country that we really have to make sure that these drugs that they're coming in actually are right within the threshold of international standards in terms of acceptability than just accepting things just because without even testing the efficacy of drugs,
That's your job.
how useful they are. And I believe those departments or government agencies that deals in this in the country, I think they're a little bit susceptible for corruption. So because and then we're dealing with a country that that's well known for getting all these deals under very dubious means, and they don't mind handling millions
So,
of
so
dollars.
should my assumption be that if it comes from Europe, we don't have to subject those things
No,
to?
we should. Everything
If
should
it
be
comes from
subject.
elsewhere other than China, is that my assumption?
No, that's not just assumption. Everything must be tested. The thing is, what kind of procedures and policies do we have in these agencies that test these drugs
So,
or whatever products that we get? How how capable are they?
so
And then how not corrupt are they? Those to me are the most important things that I see going forward. Because if we open our doors just for anything to come in just because, I think we're just opening up for a lot of diseases to come in. I mean, you and I, you know, when we were growing up, we never heard of any Zambian dying from cancer. But now it seems to be everybody's dying from cancer. I mean, how do we get these cancers all of a sudden?
you know, I'm with you what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
My only concern is that this conversation comes about as soon as we start talking about drugs that are coming from the East.
Uh-huh.
They come from Europe. We don't have a conversation. That's my problem. That's the issue I have.
I think we should have a conversation.
But we never did.
I think we should have a
And
conversation for
if
everything that we get.
if that was the case, if that was the case,
Uh-huh.
then we would be saying, okay, you taking your aid, bye. We got another place we can get from.
Oh my God. Okay, all right. Oh my God. I'm so done with you right now.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm so done with you right now. I'm telling you.
If
You
if
know
you
that.
have chicken in your refrigerator and
Uh-huh.
there's somebody distributing free chicken,
Uh-huh.
and then you suspect there's something in that chicken, are you
Uh-huh.
going to take that chicken?
Oh,
No.
absolutely not. I will not.
But if you don't have any in the fridge, you think about it, right?
Yeah, I'll think about it. And at
Yeah,
that point, I think what's important is
yeah.
it's the hunger. You know,
Until we have structures, then
right?
we are not going to complain. Whoever gives us, give us so that our people don't die. That's the bottom line. We
Okay.
figure the rest out. Because you see, we're talking about the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's compromised, some of it there's no reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. True. True.
So we don't
Yeah.
have the luxury to start having a debate as to whether we should receive them or not. If you don't have medicines, receive it. If you have medicines, you can receive and put it through test.
Okay. All right. I hear you. Okay. Now, good. Let's move on. Let's talk about the imminent arrival of the one and only, the one who was in a South African hospital allegedly. What, who is he? The sixth Republican president. His imminent arrival in the country, sometime this week. My question there, there's been this talk about Tonse having this plan B um, option that they have available. Which, I mean, I haven't seen anything besides them, so-called reconciliation with Mao Sampa this last 2 weeks. And I still wonder, what is this plan B? What is the meaning of Mr. Lungu coming back now? Is he coming back with a plan B that a lot of us are going to gravitate toward? What's going on there? Valentine, unpack it for me, because I'm kind of like I'm in La La Land, because I don't know what the Tonse are doing, and I'm the kind of person that want to see a strong. I mean, I'm a Democrat through and through, but I want to. I mean, maybe I might. I mean, I would. I support the UPND, but I want to. I want to see a very solid and predictable opposition to give the checks and balances that this government needs. Unpack for me what's going on over there at Tonsa with the arrival of Chagwa. Go ahead, Valentine. Unpack it for me, please.
I'm
Help
not
me.
reading.
Help me understand.
I'm not reading much out of it. All I know is Lungu is coming back from uh, South Africa. He went for medical help, and they, I suppose they're going to plan something to welcome him back. Right? Now, are they going to turn it political? They can if they want. Are they going to have a rally? I hope they have a police permit. Are they going to run amok? I hope they know that we have a functioning police and a functioning government.
Yeah.
So whatever they want to do should be within the law.
Right.
If it's against the law, they shouldn't cry foul.
Right.
So he has every right, ECL, to arrive at the airport and have some people there welcome him.
Oh, he's gonna have 1,000 of people welcome him.
So,
that we know for sure, because that's gonna be a political statement.
So all we're trying to do is to be unlike him, who blocked people. So we are going to see democracy in action coming in, letting him be met by people. I hope the judicial system and the investigations don't have anything on him to where as soon as he arrives, he gets arrested. But that's the law. If you arrive at the airport and you have committed some crimes, you get arrested.
You get arrested. So, I guess that would be
if he arrives and with all those hundreds of people, thousands of people waiting for him, and he got to answer to the court system, well, so be it. They need to understand that this is the law.
Right.
They cause confusion. Somebody gonna get arrested with him, and somebody gonna get shot.
Who? Are we getting over? Are we getting to that now? Valentine, somebody's gonna get shot.
Well, if they don't cooperate with the police, what do you think is going to happen?
Too far? Isn't that going a little too far, though?
No. They need to know whatever they are planning, that whatever is being planned should be within the law.
Right.
And if they don't follow the law, they'll be arrested. If they
There will
resist
be.
arrest, then things gonna start gonna start escalating. And don't blame the government for it.
Yeah, things gonna get real. Things gonna get real. That's for sure.
You're gonna have meetings right after upon your arrival. Make sure you visit the police to get a permit,
Right.
because the police are not gonna play with you. And then don't cry, shrinking democracy spaces.
Between you and me, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is, as a citizen, he's free to come home. He's free to have people welcome him. All that is free as long as it's within the law.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. Anyway, that then we segue into this recent conviction that was slapped upon that 4 MP. What's her name again? For seditious practices, and she was sentenced to is that 10 months in prison and the $1,600 kwacha payment on her wrist for seditious practices. What is her name again? More something. Help me with her name, Valentine. What's her name again? Of that MP with what's her name?
I don't know her name.
Anyway,
but I know the one you're talking about.
You know the one I'm talking about, yeah.
4MP.
The 4MP, yes. I am trying to. I never remember her name every time. I mean, it looks to me like what was that? Muyabe, or something like that. So anyway, we'll stick by 4MP. Let's just be correct in how we describe her. So she was finally convicted this past week for seditious because of a statement that she uttered on a live broadcast on the social media where she was encouraging those of the Bemba descent to rise upon this government, because she felt that this current new Dawn government was targeting people from the northern circuit of the country, which to me really, when I listened to her statement, and then my question to her is, how do you get to that point when you are elected by thousands of people who you can't even categorically state that they are of the Bemba descent? It kills me. And then you sit in parliament with a bunch of other people that represent 155 constituencies. I mean, we have a total of 156. Of course, I know that. I'm just saying you are part of that, and you utter such a statement in this environment, and then here comes the opposition with what they have adopted, a silent protest where they are. They are putting tape on their black tape on their mouth. Old men like Sapiva Squatter, he's a state council, we know. He should be somewhere in Mulobezi fishing and enjoying a glass of Morsi or Mahel. What is going on in Zambia with this thing that where these people of leadership are going out there and making all these very obnoxious or out of this world statements, and then they hope to walk free in this environment of where this cyber security bill is in place, and of course, this new Dawn government is up here about law and order. Well, guess who has joined us? Deep thinker. Guess who has joined us? The man himself, the enigma, the one in whom we are proud of, or should I say, on whom I'm proud of, my lousy husband, who just said he was at a beach somewhere. But we are privileged to have him on this podcast today. Welcome back, Doc. How are you?
We have to welcome Valentine first.
I'll let you do your bromance. Go ahead. I'll let you do your bromance. I'm giving you your time.
This Tonga man is a bad man, you know. Kirunaba.
Mina mafoni amina sevezi.
Wa sebeza.
Sevezi mafoni amina.
Wa. Neminzi kai. Nemwire kai.
Neni Mizuri.
Okay. We missed you.
I did miss you guys.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. So we were with my sister here, and she beat my team today, Newcastle. One goal which was not very convincing, but anyway, it's okay.
Your sister here is making some statements that I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I was away, I was on the beach, and then I'm now back home. Good news is that we have recruited another professor from Zambia. He's coming next week.
All right.
So there'll be 2 Zambians in Puerto Rico.
All right.
Where to go, Doc?
Okay, I'm just going to leave this bromance to go on because we have one PS here, and he's playing soccer. What is he doing? Love fest, continue.
I'm trying. I'm taking my son to a game, so that's why the internet keeps cutting out.
May the brothers continue because the speaker is here.
Wakazia. Wakazia mulishani. Is it my phone or your phone, Wakazia? Hello?
Vakazia is saying he's on a trip taking his son to his football matches. Maybe his network is not so stable.
To me, I just want to say one thing, and then I can.
Go ahead. Welcome back. Go ahead.
I don't know where you are exactly, but the only thing that I want to say is that we are slowly seeing the fruition of some of these memorandums of understandings that the president has been signing all over the world. We are seeing now things happening on the ground. There's groundbreaking events of building pharmaceutical or drug manufacturing plants. And we have basically three countries, India, Egypt, and China coming in. And this is good news for Zambia. I think giving our president another term of office, Zambia is going to be okay. We need this type of leadership. I know things like building of manufacturing plants and everything take long. So I think 5 years is not enough. All I can say is that let's give him another 5 years. I think we're going to see these things start, manifesting, so to speak, as religious people say. Things will start coming to fruition. And I think we need to give him time, because for me now, I have more confidence in what he has been traveling around the world, signing these papers and all that. And now I'm seeing things happening. Now we'll be making our own vaccines in cholera vaccines. That's huge. Okay, that means cholera now can be taken care of. So come rain season, all we do is to encourage people to take those cholera vaccines, and we'll be fine. So these are things that are preventable, and I think our president is doing something. Fertilizers, we're making our own fertilizers, medicines, education is taken care of. So these are very, very, very important things in the economy: agriculture, education, health, and mining. Mining, we still have to do a little bit more. I still need us to own more than 51% of our shares in all the mines. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I think it's a good thing. To me, as a Zambian, I'm seeing positive results already starting to happen, because when people sign those memorandums of understanding, to me, I don't believe them until I see something on the ground. When I start seeing a building coming up, then I say, oh, yes, this is happening now. So it's a good thing. I feel good. I feel proud that things are happening back home.
Doc, very insightful contribution there. I think the issue that most Zambians have, the ones on the ground, is that they are not seeing this memorandum of understanding actually bearing fruit on the ground. Even with this announcement, they are not seeing anything. Look, we announced, oh, okay, there's that Chisamba solar thing going on. And then now I know that there's another company that's going to produce another solar and feed it to ZESCO, about 80 megawatts of solar energy produced in Choma. But those things are not being seen on the ground because people, in terms of power, they're still going, 11 hours or so more without power.
But did you see what happened today in Choma? What it opened?
Yes, you tell me. I saw that, but people are not seeing, they're not feeling.
It will not happen in 3-4 years, because these things are huge projects. They take time. An average project, by the way, I've got a friend of mine working for Africa Development Bank. He has been working there for 20 years.
Okay.
He's a Zambian.
Mm-hmm.
He tells me an average project takes 15 years. 15. That's an average time frame. To start a project in an African country from scratch to the time you see the results is 15 years. So we are still okay with starting. So people must be patient. Actually, HH might not even be the president by the time we start seeing these fruits of his efforts. So it takes an average of 15 years for a project to start from the ground to the time the country starts enjoying the benefits. So to give ourselves a 3-year, 4-year period from ground to start seeing the benefits of producing medicines and all that, I think we have to be reasonable. These are some of the things that Zambians must be to realize. It takes a long time. And someone was talking the other day, we have the Sondashi formula, we have all this, we can do it on our own and all that.
Oh, yes. The one somebody else was talking about it just before you came in. So you guys need to debate, the two of you.
So me, I'm in the medical field.
Yes.
It takes an average. This is the average of 25 years to develop a drug. Okay. Mm-hmm. So as Zambia, the best thing we can do is to bring these guys that already have developed these drugs. Let's come and start manufacturing these drugs. If we start the Sondashi formula, it will take 25, 30 years before it can be used on humans. Okay. You start with using them first on very low class type of life. For example, you can start on worms, then you take rats, then dogs, okay, and then humans. Okay, and humans you start first by volunteers, and then you go into the hospital. So there are different phases of developing a drug. So it's not a matter of saying, Sondashi formula tomorrow, boom, we have a drug called Sondashi formula. It doesn't happen that way. There are different trial stages and they take years. So you do this experiment on Sondashi formula on rats, the next 10 years on dogs, the next 10 years on volunteers, humans, the next 10 years on humans in hospitals. So it's not that simple. People think that you can wake up today and say, "Oh, Sondage formula tomorrow is a formula. That's it. We have a drug on the market." No, it doesn't happen that way.
But what makes us think that Dr. Sondage was at this formula?
Actually, it was only one. He had developed this AIDS thing, and people are talking about Dr. Sondage as if his thing was about all the drugs. No, he had concentrated on AIDS at that time.
Correct.
So it was only one product.
But what makes us think that he has not done all those tests that you're talking about? Because it's at that drug for the last 50 years, right? When it was announced, remember? I think it was during the Chilula years. What makes us think that he hasn't done all those tests that we're talking about?
No. Oh my God. Okay. Let me educate you a little bit about drug development process.
Oh, yeah. But then why did he announce 20, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
So
the thing about people, I mean, countries like India and Egypt and all that, they make drugs that can sell internationally. That will be accepted internationally. Any country can buy them. That's why we buy drugs from India, from Egypt, from everywhere, because they've undergone those processes. But there are countries that can produce a drug for their own consumption in the country, and those drugs can only be used within the country. They cannot be exported across the border. If you're going to produce such a drug, yes, you can produce it within a year or two and then use it for your own people. But there will be no regulatory stringent measures of making sure the drug is safe and looking at all the side effects and everything. Drug development has a long process. So if we want to use Sondage formula in our country, Zambia, yes, we can produce it within a few years. But if we want to produce a drug that's going to be marketable internationally, we're looking at 20 or so years of investment. And development of a drug is the investment involved is billions. We're talking about billions of dollars. For that penicillin or for that Panadol you see, before it came to be produced, there were billions of dollars that were spent throughout the development process. It's not easy for us as a third world country to be investing $15, $20 billion on one drug when we have already India, China, and what these guys have already done it. Let's just bring them. This is a very wise thing for the government to do. Let's just bring them because they have already done the research. They have already invested money into these drugs. Let's just have a manufacturing plant. That's it. It's easy. We don't have to invent the wheel.
Dark. I mean, I hear the reasoning that the drugs that India or the US or Egypt are producing, they're not curing anybody. They're just prolonging somebody's life. Sondage says he has a cure. I mean, why can't we just gravitate that as a people, develop it, and cure our people? I mean, if the international community don't want it, so be it.
That's what I'm saying.
Why don't we just localize that?
The bottom line, is that there's nothing good that comes out of Nazareth. That's what we believe as Africans. So we could have put a lot of money in that Sondage formula. We could have pumped a lot of money in that Sondage formula. But from my understanding, South Africa has developed it even further. The same formula.
Yeah, but it's not an international. It cannot be marketed internationally.
No, but within Zambia, though, we wouldn't be talking about this withdrawal of drugs and be concerned about this when we've been talking about the Sondage formula for over 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, we could have taken advantage of that and say our own, we're going to put money to champion it.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
And
I know countries like
that's
true. I agree with you. If the government of the day at that time had said, okay, you guys, let's just make things for our own consumption. That's it.
Yes.
Let's get the drug. Let's use it. I know to do it as an international drug, it will take years and billions of dollars. But let's make Zambian medicine. That's it. If you want to come to Zambia and use it, come and buy it from us. But we are not seeking international accreditation or international licensing of this drug.
No.
Yeah.
It will just be Zambia and that's it.
Yeah, and then it will be curing our people. Then we don't have to worry about these
you see
life drugs that we have.
I agree with you, Valentine, when you say that, because I think it's high time. If you listen to Traore for Burkina Faso, that's what he said. You know, Traore, they have started making their own, packaging their own food products, okay? And they have started making their own electrical vehicle.
Correct.
Okay? They have started making their own, a lot of things. And you know those things? They are licensed for Burkina Faso. That's it. If you don't want to buy the electrical car from Burkina Faso, it's your own fault. We are not sticking Elon Musk's standards of Tesla.
We're not.
We make our own electrical vehicle. If the shocks are not good, it's okay. It's ours.
Yeah.
It's for our own home consumption. So we need to have Burkina Faso formula type of thing to say, you know, you guys, whether you don't want our standards or not, we'll make our and we'll sell them within our country, and that's it. If our people are okay with it, if our people are okay with our products we make, let's go ahead. But the problem we have is we want to produce things that everyone around the world will accept. And doing that, we can't compete really. We have limited resources for us to start producing these products that will be consumed in America, in Canada, and all that. No, let's start producing our own products.
We don't have time, and we don't have time. Our people are dying. We don't have time for all that.
I like West African and East African countries. They are producing products for their own consumption, and they don't care about international standards. They don't.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue.
Gentlemen, hold on. We've just been joined by Mr. Patrick Milas. Welcome back, sir. We appreciate your presence today. And
thank you.
We appreciate it so much. We are right now talking about, we've got a lot. We have had a lot of topics. So I'm pretty sure you saw the lineup. So you can jump into whatever you want to talk about. We are.
No. Let me just let me listen, and I'll join in maybe.
Okay.
Sorry for being late.
Okay, we appreciate. All right, gentlemen. Let's go back to the discussion at hand on the sondage formula. I don't even know how we got to this sondage formula, but this. Go ahead. It's a very captivating topic. Go ahead, Doc. I mean, was it Doc who was talking about the dipping? Who did I?
Yeah. What I was saying is that as Africans now, we have to start talking about our own standards. The problem that is bringing us down or really making us not progress is because we want to start doing things at the same platform with the America, Canada, and everything. Whatever we want to produce, we want to produce it according to international standards. But I think we have to start learning to say, you know what, we are not going to wait until a product passes the American standards, Canadian standards, British standards for us to start using it. We have to start making things for our own consumption. You know, and Kaunda used to have that concept. We used to make our own steel, some steel, okay?
Yeah.
The quality of that steel was for building Zambian buildings. That's it. Okay. So we didn't care whether the quality of the steel was not that good to be exported to UK or whatever. No, some steel produce steel for use in Zambia. So if these developed countries came in, Zam steel, remember even Fanicos, the mattresses we were making were not international mattresses standards. They were meant for Zambia, Fanicos, and all this type of. So I think we have to go back to the drawing board again and see what our forefathers were. The vision was where whatever we produce, we are making butter shoes, by the way, for Zambian consumption. That's it.
And they are very I mean, I got my last time on Zambia.
Okay, so we need to go back and be proud of our own products. Let's make our own medicines that are consumed within our country. I know if we start going international, these guys will mess us up. We can't make drugs that are going to compete with the US drug companies and Pfizer and all these. It will not succeed. So let's wake up and start making things for our own use and disregard these international bottlenecks. which they're basically making us dependent on them. We should start producing products of our own. If we make a shirt and the button is not straight here, we can't export it, so be it. Let's make things for our own consumption first. And then talk about exports later when we want to, do all these international standards and accreditations. Let's start making things of our own. And I like it, like the fertilizer. Do you remember the fertilizer plant that HH has commissioned and all in Kafue? They will be making fertilizer for our own consumption. That's it.
That's what we need to be looking at, because by doing that, guess what?
No, that's the starting point.
Yes, we are creating jobs for ourselves.
Yes.
To sustain our people.
And the fertilizer we're making is for our own soils in Zambia.
Yes.
We are not talking about soils for Gabon or what. No, we are making fertilizers for ourselves first. Everything starts from yourself. And once you purify or, fine-tune your process, then you can say, okay, let's start making for export. But let's start from our own domestic consumption, and that alleviates the sufferings of our people and solves a lot of economic hardships that we have. For us, the problem we've been having, and I think that's what has made Africa very... I listened to Traore, the Burkina Faso guy. He's very clear. He says Africa has been left behind because these developed countries want us to compete on the same platform. And so for us to compete on the same platform, like me, I want to run 100 meters, I want to compete with Usain Bolt or whatever. You can't do it. Just do it first locally. And when you grow locally, then you can start talking about international. That's all I can say.
Oh, great. Thank you, Doc. And let's welcome now our pastor, Mr. Godwin Kalu. Welcome back, sir. How are you? And we're talking about local production. We have a array of topics from, Zambia getting its own drug manufacturing company from here, of course. China giving us ARV and all that. So you can pretty much jump in any topic that you want to. I'm just going to call it a pante kind of podcast. So welcome, Pastor, your contribution, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I don't have much to say, but when I saw that, I felt that this is the way to go. It's a good thing. I think it answers, or it will answer a lot of questions. Like the previous speaker saying, I think we need to do things for ourselves. We need to attempt to do things for ourselves. Then when we have refined everything in the future, we can export the extra. But our household must be sufficient. We must be self-supporting. That's the way to go. I commend the government and the planners. That's a good way to go. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Great. So, gentlemen, should we go on to the next topic? Or anyone has some final words on local consumption with products and drugs?
Madam Moderator.
Yes, Dev Pinker, go ahead.
All right. So, as Zambians, let me not say Africans, as Zambians, we don't get to compete with the international community. That's number one. We just want to produce something we can consume. The problem comes, and I'll give you some examples. The problem comes when things from the international community are cheaper than the things we're producing for our own communities. For example, when Salaula hit the Zambian market, Kafue Textiles went under. We had the textiles company in Livingston, it went under. Because that was free. almost free. Same thing with the cars. We produce cars in Livingston.
Yes.
Fiat.
What was that? ITT?
Fiat.
Oh, Fiat. Yeah, I remember that.
And we produce TV sets. But when the international community started flooding the country with foreign-made items that are cheaper than what we are producing and selling to the Zambians, then we lost the market. So we need to, like what they're doing here, we need to think about tariffs on some of these things that we want to locally produce. Otherwise, whatever we do, whether we're doing it for the local community or not, this international community is going to kill that industry because they make it cheaper. China has produced counterfeit Jordan shoes. So unless we are going to make shoes that are cheaper than those, then we are at loss. So the tariff system needs to be reviewed, how these foreign things are coming in. We need to relook at those things. Salaula has killed the market, but it has done good for the Zambians.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
and just as a joke, it's a sideshow, you know how I always pip in here. So some of us who, you know how, when you go to Zambia, you have Brazilian families to give gifts to. So what I do is that I'm allowed the limit. It's 23 kilos. I'm only allowed 2 bags. So I can't support everybody. So what I do is when I get to the fact, I go to those shops and pay 4,000. I get a bill of salary of 5 of them, and then I just call my family members, come and pick. These are your gifts. It's easier for most of us. I'm just saying, just giving you a little something on the side. Doc, you wanted to say something before we
yes. But deep thinker, the thing is, the products from China are cheaper than what we can produce in Zambia, Livingston, ITT. I remember I used to have that 2-band radio, ITT, when I was growing up. It's because we are exporting unfinished the leather, for example. We shouldn't export it to China and then China make cheaper Jordan sneakers.
Correct.
Let's process the leather ourselves and then make shoes. Our shoes will be the cheapest. But China is getting leather from us and then they're producing cheaper stuff. Okay. So we have to, they're getting cotton from us, from Africa, and then they're going to produce cheaper clothes. So the most important thing for us to realize that we should process this. For example, the desks now in Zambia, we can't import from China. We are making our own desks. That's a starting point. Okay? The president put a ban on importation of desks. We are making our desks. They are of quality to us. That's the quality we need. I know some of them are a little bit shaky. It's okay. That's a starting point. At least in all schools now, we have Zambian-made desks. Okay? Correct. So the next thing we can do, look at Ghana, Rwanda, Kenya, now Burkina Faso. They're making their own vehicles. Okay? They're importing these parts from whatever, but it makes sense to assemble your own vehicle in your own country than importing a $150,000 VX, Toyota VX, whatever they call them. Okay? We can, and then you put a ban the way we did it on the desks. Nobody buys a car from Japan. We're assembling our own cars because it's cheaper. So we need to do one thing at a time. The most important thing is Africa, we have everything. The resources we need. These batteries, electrical car batteries right now, we should not even export any single cobalt and copper and cotton. We should, as Africa, the problem, we're not united as such. All of us just say, no copper will leave, no coltan will leave, no cobalt will leave. We'll make our own electric batteries in Africa. That's it. We make those things like the European Unions do. So we have to be, we're exporting this to China, and China producing cheaper batteries. And then we're saying we can't compete with China. We're the ones who are just stabbing ourselves. China
Right,
paper
right.
batteries because we are giving them the resources.
Yeah, can I jump in? I mean, very good submission there, Doc. But doesn't that then gets us to a crossing road with the U.S. government on our deal with the what's that Lobito corridor? You know, I mean, we have this
They
deal
are
in
coming to
place.
steal our resources.
Of course, but you know, I don't
Madam,
even know why we went that route.
And we
Madam
are
Moderator,
happy for them to
Yes.
come and get our resources and take
Yes,
them.
go ahead, Valerie. Go ahead, Deep Thinker.
the first thing we need to consider here
Mm-hmm.
is things we're getting free.
Okay.
As soon as we get around the things we're getting for free, we are going to work for our own. I'll give you an example. For years, the country has received millions and billions of dollars worth of medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And on the back of those packages, it says not for sale. Okay? So here's the thing. You as a country, you're producing medicine for sale, but you have billions pumped in for free. Why would you as a politician say, I'm going to spend money here when I can receive it for free? Dependence. So to stop this, first of all, we need to say, I think Rwanda did it. We need to say, like Rwanda did, say, no thank you to Salaula. And they developed their own. But first of all, they had to say no to that. And they caught a lot of hell for that, but they stayed on course and said, we're not taking secondhand clothes. Eventually, they left them alone. We, Zambia and most of African countries, were quick to receive. Now, when that appetite for receiving for free is stopped, then we can start our own. Because otherwise, when we try to stop selling our items to the West or to China, what happens is that they're going to flood the world market with free things. And you're the only ones that are not selling.
Mm-hmm.
So as a unit, we need to say no to these things that we are giving us for free. And after all, anything free is not really free. I yield.
On the
Madam
back.
Moderator, can I say
Yes,
something?
Mr. Miller. So come in, please. Come on in.
Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor, long time. I hope you're good. I have some issues here.
Mm-hmm.
Your points, all of you, the three speakers whom I found on the program, excellent points. But my biggest problem I have is we talking, as I always say, from the comfort of our apartments, and nothing happens. I'm a kind of a person, I like action.
Mm-hmm.
I like I'm like Moses. I want to see. I want to believe. I don't like this theory vokamba kamba. You know. So the best here, as I said, even to the executive, is to try and talk to the person who can answer these questions. You guys, you cannot visa city Pamenapa is going to end here. Good night. Good night. See you next Sunday. You need to bring people who can answer these questions. Why are we not producing our own stuff? Why are the companies, the foreigners who are mining in Zambia not paying taxes? Why are we not enjoying the copper and the emeralds? Why are we not enjoying? It's in the hands of, because me, I don't have the answers. Yesterday, I hosted the dinner. Unfortunately, we were 6. 5 of those guys, they are OPF. They defeated me, but I said, whether you say, no, 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 we are going to beat you in 2026. So one guy, he came up with a point. He says, okay, Patrick, explain to me the 6 most important ministries in Zambia. Which are they? I told him, okay, we have foreign affairs, defense, home affairs, blah, blah, blah. He says, all those, they are under the Tonga people and Lozi people. Is that not tribalism? I said, listen, let's not talk about tribalism or whatever. Me, what I know, as far as I'm concerned, the most educated people, 90%, is the Lozis and the Tongas. So we are choosing on merit. I try to defend myself, and which is true. The Tongas and the Lozis, they like to read. They like they're very good in that. If we have members, of course, we have got masters, Nyanjas, Kaondes, whatever. But that was what I was trying to say. But he had some points here and there. But what I'm saying in short is, we should try and as the 11th president, do a Zoom meeting and answer fire these questions to HH and let him answer. Then we can take it from there. Because to be honest, I've been talking to a friend of mine. He is based in Dubai. I've known him for over 16 years. I told him, I said, listen, I have an idea. I have a piece of land by the main road in Kapirimposhi, Lusaka Ndola Road. It's just 1 meter from the main road. I want to build a warehouse, but can we use it to manufacture drugs? That is 4 years ago. And you people are coming up with this idea. I said, oh, it means even me, Natuzeri Twanga, I'm thinking. Because I saw that we have a problem of drugs in Zambia. And also it's a cartel being taken over by the Indians. We need to try and fight that. So that's why I'm saying the president and his executive, they'll be able to answer those to us. And I like your ideas whereby it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be quality, as long as it's satisfactory to a Zambian citizen. Even if in Nyanganyako, but I can sit here and write my exams and learn from there. Unlike sitting Pachimutengo, Pansi Pachimutengo on a stone, like what they were doing in the PF. It's far better than what we have improved our standards. It's like you are getting somebody who stays in Kanyumba Kamauzu, Wamuleta in a one-roomed house with electricity. That's a big transformation. So what I'm saying is maybe it can be a good idea. We bring the head of state and his executive to answer this question, just an hour or an hour and a half, and he always agrees as long as we've got points. But the president, knowing him, once we talk about this, he'll say, can you come and invest in Zambia? He's told us that in 2021. Come and invest in Zambia. Don't look for jobs. And unfortunately, most people, they voted to look for jobs, or they organized the UPND chapter to look for jobs as ambassadors, as a what. No, that was wrong. We need to go back to Zambia as investors. But again, he told us the biggest problem with Zambians, we don't work together. So I'm saying in simple terms, we get somebody who can answer to us, because we don't know what's going on in the government. We are not there. We have got brilliant ideas. We want to start manufacturing our own things at a small scale until we improve to start exporting. It's never too late, but we need answers. Can we do this? If he wants us to find investors, we can. I found investors in 2021. Silva Masebo, she turned me down. She never answered our phones after saying, yes, this is a good idea. From there, she just disappeared. In the Ministry of Health, I got somebody who wanted to invest about $1 billion. I had friends, but I kept quiet because I was embarrassed with them, what transpired. So I don't even talk to them, because these guys who have got money, once they see you a kawaiwai, they'll never pick up your phone. So I'm in a situation whereby your answers, your ideas are brilliant, but they need answers from the correct people. I yield.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Melaso.
Can I jump in on that one before the same, just to follow up on my brother's contribution?
Oh, go ahead.
Patrick, we had a meeting last week with our High Commissioner in Canada, Ottawa, and we said exactly what you just said to him, and he promised us to come back in 3 weeks with answers. So we are hopeful that the government will listen, because we talked about, first of all, we want to invest back home, but we need an enabling environment, and we need someone to listen to us. For example, some of us have been in Canada, abroad for more than 25 years. We can, even the little money that we have right now, if I invest $100,000 in Zambia, it's a lot of money. But I need the government to help me bring that $100,000 in back home by giving me a piece of land or something like talking to these big boys around, because I've got $100,000 to spare. But where do I take it? So this is something we talked about with ambassador, high commissioner here in Canada. So I think you are right. We need the people that matter in government to listen to us and work with us, and not just all talk and all that type of thing. We need that. Thank you.
Oh, great, great! And just to highlight some of these concerns that you have, Mr. Minaso, we are working around the clock to bring these people to answer to this podcast, and that's the more reason why we decided to have this podcast, and we broadcast it everywhere, and hope people spreading it out, and who knows who's watching. Maybe one day we might just get a call. So I think the idea is give up, open up, and communicate. Hopefully, we will get some answers someday. But definitely, we are out here trying to get these people in certain ministries to come on and have discussions with that. That way, we can move forward for the betterment of the country. And yes, I mean the pastor and I think we if I may just add on here that the pastor and I, we are the original proponents of this chapter, and I think in the beginning for us it wasn't about taking jobs. That's why some of us didn't take up jobs in the new, because it wasn't about that. What it was about was to bring about good governance in the country, and that no one feels victimized by state operatives, and then just to work on the tribalism that we also the violence. I think when we started the chapter, that was the vision, and maybe I'll let Pastor Godwin maybe shed more light, because he was our beacon of light when we were in the trenches. Pastor Godwin, you want to comment on that? Maybe you have a few words that you want to let everybody know. Go ahead, Pastor Kaluwe. Oh, maybe the pastor. Maybe the pastor is pastoring somewhere, but he's here listening in. So shall we then move on to the next topic? And the next topic is a very good topic. I know Valentine is going to be happy about this. So, our education minister last week announced that they've already dispersed about almost $1 billion kwacha towards grants that are supposed to go to schools already. Schools in Zambia opened last week, I believe, Monday. And they seem to be on track in as far as education is concerned. Free education, of course, achieved. People are going back to school, and they're giving these grants on time every single time. Your comment, I know there are other teething issues, like, the syllabus has been changed, and, we don't know what's in there. So hopefully we can get somebody from the Ministry of Education to actually talk to us about that and see what we can add. And hopefully that will also help in getting the education sector where it needs to be. I'll start with you, Valentine, and then I'll go with the doctor, because you guys are in the education sector. You might have more info on this before we go to Mr. Grasso. Valentine, the deep think, your comment, the education sector seems to be on course, in terms of funding and people getting back to school. The numbers are just off the chain in terms of enrollment levels, and the desks that are being given or being procured locally, thereby giving jobs to local people. Your comment on that and more, please come in.
It's really a good thing that education is getting something, because education is one of those industries where the product is not seen right away. It's not like manufacturing a car where in 5 weeks you see the product. So to spend money where the product is not immediate, that's always a good thing. My only question to whoever is listening out there is, how is this money going to trickle down to help a student? And by that I mean, sometimes you have this a lot of money disbursed out there, and then after they have paid Tim, John, Peter, all that, then down to the student level, there is really nothing that goes into making sure that there is proper instruction and the curriculum is designed for the needs of the country. I'll give you an example of here. There's a lot of money that is pumped in schools, but in most of the public schools, there's very little money that is actually reaching the child. Now, you go to the offices, you find that people have new furniture, new everything. Somebody walks in the building, they're like, whoa, it's painted, it's a nice school. But you graduating students that are that are reading 3-4 grade levels below. So I would like to see that outline and goals for that money and how it will improve the academics part of education, because education is a lot of factors there, but the academics part of the child, if you've figured out that reading is the issue, what your with that money, what goal do you have, and how much money are you going to put in that goal, and what is the result that what outcome are you expecting from spending that money on that program? So that I would like to see, other than just money disbursed. I yield.
Great. Doc, your comments?
Okay, I'm also in the education sector. You don't know that I'm in the education sector?
That's what I said. I said the two of you are in the education sector.
No, you just mentioned
you are
different.
not listening to me. I said it.
I'm here because I came to establish a university from scratch. Okay, I'm so proud of that. Anyway, my take on that one is that it's a good thing to invest in education. Especially, to me, it's very important in the tertiary education after grade 12, because I know primary to grade 12, it can be relatively cheap, really, to run, from my experience as a consultant in education matters. But after grade 12, the investment has to be massive, because that's really when you're going to produce the product that's going to run the economy of the country, the accountants, the engineers, and everything. So to me, it's good that the president has done the free education up to grade 12, which is good. Now, I think the most important thing now we have to look at now is to invest in post-secondary education. That's where the most of the money now we have to be poured in. Okay.
Yeah.
And there are two ways of doing this. We can do the Malaysia way. Malaysia was a little bit smart in the sense that what they did was after grade 12 post-secondary education, they used to sponsor their students abroad to countries that have already developed the programs anyway. So they used to give them full scholarship to US, Canada, Britain. So they found it cheaper when they did the calculations. They found it cheaper, other than funding all these post-secondary institutions in their country. They just used to sponsor people abroad. Saudi Arabia is doing the same thing. When you finish grade 12, you go abroad, and then they'll bring you back. They found it cheaper, and you don't have to to invest money in investment fees and that. So Saudi Arabian students, immediately after the 12, they're out of the country. Full scholarships. And Malaysia did the same thing. And look where they are. Okay? So to me, we have to look at options of how we're going to develop our young people. Is that money that we're going to invest in the education sector put in the right place? Is that enough? For example, the new curriculum, I've gone through it. It's very, very expensive curriculum. It needs billions of dollars to achieve. Every school to have all those programs they're talking about, the metal work and this and plumbing and all that. It's very expensive. If I were to be their consultant, I would say let's develop a few schools in Zambia that have these skills. And then the rest of the good students that, because out of grade 12, it's not that all of them are going to, let's have these cheap, I don't want to use the word cheap, low cost type of programs be held in Zambia. For example, plumbing and this and the bricklaying and all that. Those we can hold them in Zambia, but when we want to produce an IT engineer or whatever, let's just send these kids out. It's cheaper other than us investing in IT technology locally. So I think we should look at both options. Sending students abroad, like the ZCCM used to do, it was cheaper than them building a school in Copperbelt and train these engineers. They used to send, that model is very effective. That model ZCCM used to use in Pelembe, I think it's very, 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 very good. It's very cheap. People thought it was expensive, but it's cheaper than really building every secondary school to have all the facilities required for the skills we need. It's cheaper just to send them abroad and bring them back if they come back, but we encourage them to come back anyway. So that's what I can say. But it's a good thing by the government to do that. They have dispersed the money to all schools and all that. But let's think about another option of sending students abroad, get the required skills, because these developed countries have already invested money in those institutions or in those fields, and then get our students back. It's much cheaper than trying to build our own. We don't need to reinvent, what do they call it? Reinvent the wheel. The wheel is already there. Let's just use it. That's what I can say as an education consultant.
Brilliant submission by the both of you. Shall we get contributions from Mr. Milasa? You want to say anything on the education sector and the milestones that the UPND government is reaching with the disbursement of funds to schools on time? It looks like the schools are well funded, and then we have a very high turnout of school children in terms of from grades 1 to the 12th grade because of the free education that was promised. Your take on that?
Well, I'll concur with Deep Thinker because he's just put it right to the point. The only thing he's saying that it's cheaper to send the students. What about if the volume of the students who wants to do those topics or those subjects overseas, they are more than the budget of the Ministry of Education. What about building maybe one school in Copperbelt and one school in Lusaka, and they do it from there so that we have more people. I don't know the technicalities in terms of the equipment they use. Maybe it's too expensive or what, but I was just thinking that we might maybe have more students and we can't send them all at once overseas. Then the other thing is I saw somewhere the president was talking about the education system is going to have more practicals, like the technical subjects, which is actually what I was really looking at, because sometimes me and a friend of mine we joke. I said, "Hey, what does let's say the kind of job you are doing?" You start asking yourself, "What does algebra helping you right now with the kind of job you're doing?" So what I'm saying is, we should have a lot of practicals. I've seen in China kindergartens that learning how to do bricklaying, sewing, cooking, and all that kind of thing. Fixing cars and all that kind of thing. I think we should also go into more of the practicals because you must remember English is not our first language in Zambia. So some of them, they might not understand it, but they might understand it in their own language and and fix the car in their own language, the way they understand it. So I think more of the practical schools would really help Zambia, in the near future. Thank you.
Oh, great. I can't even add anything there. We definitely we'll look forward to more developments over there, and hopefully we can get the minister himself to come and talk to us at some point. Pastor Godwin Kalue, do you have any additions, or you're just listening in? I think you did say you were just listening in, but if you have any take on that, let's move on to the next topic, gentlemen. And that topic is pretty much a topic that we love to do on a daily basis. If we have, this is why we talk about anything we want to talk about that you want to take out of your chest, and we call it the rant segment. Who wants to go first? Anybody have something to say that everybody wants to listen, that needs to listen to? Who wants to go first? Shall we start with Mr. Milaso? I know you just spoke, but I'm going to volunteer you first to speak from your heart. Let us know what you want us to hear from you this week. What's your rant for the week?
Okay, I'll just talk about the way the UPND government is being accused of tribalism and favoritism in terms of the recent MP who was just arrested for 8 weeks, and we also have our own MPs and the UPND members who have been saying things on the social media about the members or about the nyanjas, and they don't get arrested. So there is that thing. There is a gentleman I read. He's an MP, I think. I was driving though, but I read a little bit. He was complaining. He said, "Why is it that UPND member would say this, they don't get arrested, but us will get arrested? What is it in there?" You know. So I was saying, the president, he had said he's the president of all Zambians, and I'm not for favoring UPND members. If a UPND member is wrong, he's wrong. If he has to be arrested or she has to be arrested, let her be arrested, or let her be dismissed. Honestly, I agree with the caller when well, with the speaker when we talked about that. So we need to balance our things. We're not running the government as just UPND. We are running it as for every Zambian. Thank you.
Oh, great. Great. Who's next? Pastor Kalue? What's your run for the week? I guess it's just listening in. Shall we go to the Deep Thinker? What's your run for this week, Deep Thinker?
Just excited about the money pumped into education, and I hope it's going to affect that child who is disadvantaged. That's the child who's left out. How are we going to empower that child? That's my rant.
Oh, great. I know the next one has a whole hour to speak about the rant for his week. Doc, what are your rants for this week? How many do you have today? Give them to us.
I've got quite a number.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
But I'm getting an echo. Where is this echo coming from? Someone is logged on in 2 gadgets.
Nobody's logged on. Are you at the beach though?
No, I'm back in my house.
There is an echo, yeah.
There is an echo?
Yes, someone is logged in on 2 systems. Like they logged in and then logged in on another one, so they're both speaking at the same time. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
And I suspect it's the moderator. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So the first thing I was saddened to hear about Kampiongo's wife's death. That is very sad. As humans, that I can imagine you're incarcerated, you're in jail, and then you hear that your wife has died. It's really, really sad. My prayers goes to the family. And I hope it has nothing to do with incarcerations. Maybe it was just an existing medical problem. Okay. So as a human being, I just feel bad for the family. I mean, I feel sad for the family. You can imagine hearing that sad news. So my condolences to the Kamtiongo family for such type of, to receive this type of news at this time. It's very sad. But hey, it's life. We move on. And also, my other rant is not rant, but I'm yet to confirm. I hear that my former president has come back from South Africa. He's back in the country. I would have loved to see him address the nation because he's the father of the nation at his arrival, but I'm told it was incognito. Nobody has seen him arrive at the airport. It was like private type of stuff. I'm a little bit disappointed on that because he's my former president and I want to hear from him. I want to hear wisdom from him and hear how he's getting on. I know he went for medical checkups. So I'm interested as a Zambian to hear how my former president is doing. But I'm told it has been a private type of arrangement and things have just, so that's number two. Number three, I was listening to a podcast by Prince Chanda. I've never heard about him. All of a sudden, I was just browsing through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was talking, was being interviewed today, actually, Sunday. He had a live podcast on one of these channels in Zambia. And he's a PF, whatever. He was a GBM campaign manager or something like that. His name is Prince Chanda. I was really, really impressed by him to hear that what he said. He said a lot of things. And to me, when someone is talking about politics is like a coin. It has both, it has two sides.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone is criticizing something, he has to criticize the other side. When he's praising the other side, he has to praise the other side. And this is what Chanda was doing. And I said, oh my God, this guy is so good. Because I don't want to hear one side of the coin only. No. For me, when I hear someone talking about politics in Zambia and just praising UPND, I don't like it. I want him to criticize my party. I want him to praise my party. I want him to criticize PF, the opposition, and also praise them. So this guy was saying something that caught my one thing that caught my mind was, from his speech or his interview, was that the opposition need to get organized. They need, time is running out. There's no way they can be going into elections without a leader. It takes time to sell a presidential candidate. And it's urging them as PF to say, let's put our house in order, let's elect a leader, and let's start selling that leader to the Zambians. There's no way we can go into the elections 2 months before the election and then start selling. It's, according to him, months to sell a leader to the people. So he's urging them to do that. He says at the moment, we don't have opposition candidates. We don't have opposition in Zambia right now. Everyone is just... And he pointed out one thing that I was always been talking to my friend, the PS. Every opposition leader right in Zambia doesn't want to spend money of his own. He's waiting for Lungu to give him money so that he can start campaigning. But he gave a big example. He said, look, when HH was in opposition, he didn't wait for somebody to give him money before he can start campaigning. Let's sacrifice. If you really want to save the Zambian people, sacrifice. Remove the money from your personal. He said GBM used to get money from his personal account and to go on for all these type of things. So he said very, very important thing. We need opposition. As a UPND supporter myself, I want opposition because it makes our democracy flourish.
Right.
But if we are not going to have an opposition leader up to I mean, we're a few months before the elections, and we have nobody. This is not good for democracy. It's not good. And if they're going to introduce a candidate 5 months before the elections, and then our HH wins, they'll start crying foul again. But come on, opposition, get your acts together. Let's get organized and tell us, or start telling to the Zambian people, who is going to be the opposition leader or person on the ballot come 2026. The time is running out. We have no time now to start having all those press conferences, taping your mouth with duct tape and all that type of thing. That is childish.
This is what I said earlier. Remember?
This is childish. That is what people in high school do or in secondary schools.
Your stepdaughter was in tape on.
So please, let's have somebody going to challenge our president, and that's good for democracy. Because I know if they're going to introduce a candidate in January or whatever, they're saying Lungu can stand. It's a no-brainer. Lungu has been banned by the constitution. He will never stand. But for them to start continuing saying Lungu is going to be our candidate, they should just forget about it. So that's what that's my last one. By the way, the last thing I just want to say, congratulations to Arsenal for going into the Champions League again. And not coming out with a trophy. So that's all I can say.
The streets are on. You know what happens when they're Arsenal, right? Thank you, Doc, and I just wanted to, I think, bring up something. I know Mr. Milaso spoke about the how PF feels that our cabinet or people in government are full of people from Southern Province. I think the answer to that, I think, anyone can say whatever if they don't have statistics at hand. I mean, how would you accuse this government of tribalism when we have people like Elias Mulanga, who is the minister of small and medium enterprises, who is making noise. And then we have Felix Simutati, Minister of Technology, Charles Milupi, Minister of Infrastructure, Doreen Wamba, Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Peter Chiwekapala, actually I think he's a doctor if I'm not mistaken, he's a Minister of Fisheries, Makozo Chikotwe, Energy, Gift Shaluvelo, Rural Development and Local Government, Stumbeko Musokotwani. The Doc is a Minister of Finance, Jack Mwimbu, Home Affairs, Rodney Sikumba, Tourism, Brenda Tambatamba, Labor, Ambrose, Luigi Lufuma, Defense, Tuvia Masebo, Lands, Elvis Shalankandu, Sports, Colin Zobu, Water and Development. I'm just running through all these names. Elijah Muchima, Health, Siakalima Douglas, Education, Ruben Mutola Piri, Agriculture, Frank Tayali, Transport, Chipokamlenga, Commerce, Kabuswe, Mines. I mean, the list is ongoing. So, before, let's just face it, during PF, did you see any other names on that list that will reflect the whole country? I think this is a reflection of the country. People just need to get used to the program that you have a diversified, government. Not everybody is going to come from, one place. I'll tell you this. When my mother died 4 years ago, and I was the administrator, of course, so we were closing up her accounts at the pension. So we went there. I'm not going to name names. There was only one tribe there. That's when I knew that we were in deep doodles. So now when you see a cross section of diversified people, the PF are going to spew anything they can get out. to say. I mean, it's good enough. So even I can say, well, UPND has failed, and it's all about sound bites. So as we, continue to support the party, I think it's good to reflect on the numbers and just compare what we have now and what we used to have. We can even bring the list of directors. In the PF, there was nobody from Southern or Western Province, and you can't tell me that those groups have no qualified director in those departments. So, and the list is going on. So I just wanted to just bring that to the fore while we engage with other people from other parties. Yes, Mr. Miller, so tell them to come on the show and take us on. We are here to defend the party, and of course, I mean, if the party, has issues or they're erred, even the government, we are here to express our opinions in the hope that whatever we bring to the table, somebody will listen and make corrections. I mean, as a people, we make mistakes. But the most important thing is to have that spirit of moving on and never giving up. On that note, unless anybody wants to say anything, shall we end this live podcast? And if people want to stay on to talk in the background, I'll leave the stream open. Until next week, viewers, please keep the faith.